Hey, how you doing? Von Spriggan here, back with another gear review from Guitarist. This time, we are looking at the brand new Appex Modern Trailer Guitar. It's pretty cool. I was a little bit skeptical at first. Guitarist were nice enough to send me a copy of this, and I was sort of like, look, I play guitar. I've never really used MIDI guitar before. I'm not too sure how much use I'd get out of it, but then I heard this. I like this riff. It's from a new demo. This is just like a demo song I've been working on. Alright. Yeah, before we just listen, I get stuck in listening to the whole thing. So, let's talk about what's going on here. So, most of the sounds are coming from Appex Modern Trailer Guitar. This riff was originally written on keyboard, actually. So, like, just a really simple little riff. I like it. I like simple riffs. And full disclaimer, when I got sent this, I was a little bit skeptical. I've been playing guitar now for maybe about 20 plus years. I just got a new 8-string guitar too, which is kind of weird because this is an 8-string plugin, so maybe it was the universe meant to be. But yeah, I was a little bit skeptical, and guitar playing is really, really important to me. It's my main vehicle for writing music, and it's a lot of fun. Like, it's kind of what made me fall in love with music, really, is like playing guitar and just getting lost in that and jamming with friends. And most of the time when I record guitar, I try to get a very honest take, I guess, whatever that means. But I don't like to edit it too much. I do like to get the real performance in there, kind of like, the old school guys like Led Zeppelin and all that kind of stuff. Certain parts, obviously I make industrial metal, so sometimes I do chop it up for certain effects and stuff like that. For the most part though, I like to just have a very natural riff, and it's just me playing it in, and it's just the performance captured, and that's it. So I was a little bit skeptical of using a MIDI guitar, and I was worried that it was kind of like going to take away from that feeling, I guess. I don't know don't really know how to put that into words, but it's just like, it's so fun to play guitar. So I don't want to take that away, But I was wrong. It's really cool. Like, it's a very, very useful tool. And I'm finding that if I mix this in with my real guitar performance or my analog guitar, it's adding this kind of definition to the notes and the low end, which I wasn't really getting before. So I tune really low. This song is in drop G. I've got songs in drop F. And when you're getting that low, a lot of the note definition can get lost. And it can get kind of muddy and stuff like that if you're not careful, especially when you start adding bass synths on top of that and big kick drums, and it's all just bass. It gets muddy quick. But this is really helping kind of define my riff. So let's get into this riff and what's sort of going on here and how I'm using Appex. So if we listen to just Appex, we'll mute the guitar and we'll mute the bass here. And this is just Appex and drums. So it sounds really good, straight away. So what this is, I just went to the metal section because I'm a metal guy, clicked on the first one, metal raging distortion, done. It's that easy. I was like, yep, that just sounds good. I then blended that with another one called metal jagged distortion. Again, it's just a straight patch, and it sounds awesome. There's also a affected one in there, which is, I believe it's just clean guitar or something it's called. Let's have a look. It is called Passive Riffs, Classic Rock. So yeah, really, I just used the patches and that was it. And got a great sound straight away. So that's just the Appex by itself. And then mixing in the real guitar. And then mixing in the bass. So yeah, it's adding a nice, we'll just go back to this main riff. It's adding in a really nice sort of definition, and what I think is happening when you play guitar, as you grab a note or a string, it slightly bends and it's slightly out of tune. Not really noticeable to the human ear, but it is there, it's not perfect. So when it mixes with the perfect notes of the MIDI, it's creating this kind of phase effect, very subtle, and creating this wall of distortion. And because my notes played in are slightly off the grid, you're getting this, the two notes are just slightly off each other. It's kind of the same effect as you do, a big crowd chanting. It's not everyone chants at the same time, and those little separations in the sound create that wall. Or when you hear, a big, war drums, and it's 1,000 drummers playing, it sounds big because they're slightly off, and it's this big wall that comes together. So I think that's kind of what's happening. I think, maybe. I could be wrong. But I think that's what's happening. I've thought about this a little bit. Tend to nerd out on this stuff probably a little bit too much. But yeah, it's adding this really nice definition into the notes and this sort of low-end distortion. That's really cool. Also, it's nice to, like, I mostly write my guitar riffs on guitar, like, as would make sense, but I also do write riffs on keyboard. If I hit a bit of a writer's block, I find swapping to a keyboard, it just changes the way that you kind of think about the riffs and stuff like that. So having these... kind of cool. It's just nice. I got this little MIDI keyboard down here. It's very cool. Like now having this like real guitar that I can like play in. It's like awesome. It's adding this like whole new other avenue I can use to write now, and not having to kind of use a bass synth and just imagine what it would sound like. And yeah, the whole lot mixed in together is creating this really nice wall. Take the bass out again, take the real guitar. So the main sound is coming from this MIDI guitar now. It's very cool. So it also has like some quite cool, like it's not all just like raging metal distortion. It has some like really interesting stuff like this too. Again, this is that classic rock patch. Literally just a patch, that's it. So I do really like that about Keep Forest is most of their patches are really awesome, just straight from the get-go. You can spend time writing music rather than engineering. And then when it all comes in. So that's all Appex. Again, there's no bass or anything like that. We'll chuck the bass in on the next round. Alright, so bass in and real guitar. So let's just listen to the real guitar for a second. You can hear this is like a little bit more dull. Those kind of high notes are a little bit more lost, not as quite as defined. Just a little bit more, just a little bit lost. Now with the Appex added on top, that just mixes in so nicely. So nicely. And this is the two Apexes together. Those two blended together, there's something really cool. Like, so I talked to a guy named Victor at Keep Forest, and he was like, I think you're gonna like this. I was skeptical, but I was totally wrong. Victor, you were right. I think this is gonna become like part of my guitar sound now. It's just like almost annoying because I've got to go back now and like add this into like all these other mixes, and like it's this funny thing sometimes when you get a new plugin and you're like, I love it, and then you have this like realization how much work you just give yourself. You're like, oh god, now I'm gonna add it to every song. So yeah, it's gonna be worth the work. Like, you know, you hear these songs forever, so it's worth putting in the hours. Can't recommend this thing enough, actually. It's very cool. So let's get into the actual plugin a little bit. I haven't really talked about that. I've just been like, it sounds cool. So, for me, I just kind of like to play in my riffs. I just like playing my riffs on like keyboard, or like, you know, play it on guitar first and then transpose it to keyboard. But you do have this designer thing in here. So you go into riff mode itself. And you can write riffs all in here. So at the moment, I'm just holding down, you know, just... So you can write the riffs all in the designer, which is really cool. And it's really, really in-depth. Like up here, you've got how you sort of like separate all the notes and that sort of stuff. And you can just go crazy. Here, you have all the different ways that you can hit a guitar. So there's like a million different ways you can hit a guitar, depending on where you put your hands. So you like dead note, palm mutes, short, soft sustain, medium sustain, high sustain. I could list them all, but it's kind of pointless. There's a lot there. It's very cool. I myself don't use a designer. Like I said, I like to like play it in myself. But for anyone that doesn't play guitar, this is going to be awesome. And I'm going to recommend this to a singer that I work with. He's got a really good mind for riffs, but he doesn't play guitar. And you'll probably find, like, if you listen to music enough, I get this a lot of time with friends and stuff. They're like, oh, I'm not a musician and stuff. And it's like, no, you are. Like, you just don't know how to transpose that into music yet. Like, we've all listened to music probably since we're little kids, so it's all embedded in there. It's just hard to sort of translate that into like your hands sometimes. So something like this is a really cool tool for people that are like that, and they get kind of riffs and stuff like that in their head, and they can come in here now and make it. Like, it's a very, very cool tool. You also go into the chains. There's a whole bunch of different effects and cabs and stuff like that. Really high quality effects too, and not just like a whole bunch of fluff that you don't need. I really like the cabs and stuff in here too. Like, for me, the Jump and the Van 51 are probably where I'm going for. I think the Jump is based off a JCM 800 Marshall. I could be wrong. I'd be interested to know, Keith Forrest, if you can let me know if I was right. And I think the Van 51 Van Halen, there was like an EVH amp back in the day, but I think it might be a 5150 Mesa Boogie, which is if you know anything about metal, the 5150 Mesa Boogie is kind of the sound of like metalcore and metal and modern metal. Like, that amp gets used so much. So I've got my microphone cord banging around here. So yeah, very cool stuff. There's heaps and heaps within this. I'm kind of a simple man. I just go to the plugins. I mean the patches, and it's already done. You can spend time writing music rather than engineering. It's very, very cool. I think Keep Forest are a great company. They make cool stuff. It's just like, and dealing with them has been really nice. Like, it's not this sort of pressure, and I don't want to get into a situation where I'm forced to use a plugin or a certain sound because a company has sent it to me. And it's not like that with Keep Forest at all. Like, they really have faith in their products, and it's just like, we kind of know that you're going to like it. I think that's what it was like with me. That it's like the first hit's free kind of thing. It's like, yeah, you say that you're not going to use it, but just give it a shot. No, all right. And it was very cool. So yeah, that's about it for me talking about Appex. So you can find other channels where it goes into the designer, and like, there's a whole bunch of really like complex stuff. You can go crazy like with that designer, honestly. Like, there's so much you can do. Oops, I got the riff mode on. I was wondering why it sounded a bit weird. Sure, turn riff mode off. Then we go back to... Oh. So yeah, very, very cool. Is that still on riff mode in there as well? I think it might be. This one, Metal Jagged Distortion. This one sounds brutal. Sorry, I just get lost. It's how songs are written. And it's like, ooh, that sounded cool. Ooh. I think that's what's cool about Keep Forest stuff. There's a lot of patches where it's kind of inspiring. You just sort of hear the noise and you're like, oh, I like that. What's that? So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, I recommend this. It's good. Like, if you're a person that's played guitar and stuff like that, especially if you use like lower tunings, highly recommend it. Like, mix it into your real guitar tone, and it sounds awesome. Like, it really adds a nice sort of weight and definition to the notes. If you're not a guitarist, I even recommend it even more. Like, it's cool. Like, if you got riffs in your head and stuff, this will help you get them out, banging away on the keyboard. Yeah, I can sit here all day talking about this. So it's cool. I like it. Thank you, Keep Forest. You were right. I do really like it. I think I'm going to have to go back and put this into every track now. And yeah, not much else I can say about it. It's a good sounding instrument. It's just cool. It's good. I like it. I'm sold. I believe. I'm a MIDI guitar believer. I believe. Makes me wonder, like, what else I'm kind of missing out. It's like, no, I've got to play guitar. It's like, yeah, I can still play guitar, but I can just like add this on there, and it's cool. Right? So, yeah, if you've hung out this far, I appreciate it. Appex Modern Guitar Trailer. Keep Forest themselves, like, check out keepforest.com. There's a lot of free stuff on their site that's really, really good. So if you want to just try some stuff out, I recommend it. That's how I kind of came across their stuff. I'm a sucker for free things. It's like, ooh, Devastator Synth, free. Yeah, I recommend it. Good people making cool shit. All right, that's it for me. I'll talk to you all later. Thanks again. Hope you have fun writing some riffs. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.